What is up, guys? Just missed the trade here. We're doing a playback of it today, actually. And this would be the first trade of the day on a swing high. First entry pushes up, bar closes here, pushes down first. Second entry is right here. And you want to go for a buy here? One simple reason, it's FOMO. You just broke above this level of resistance, as you can see right above my head. Let me hide my face. As you can see, there's that level of resistance right here, and we break above that. Then we push higher. Then we start to push down. We do have this like topping pattern sort of thing. As you can see, the rate in which it's accelerating up is slowing down, and then you get this massive spike. So people are still trying to short this thing, but once it starts to push up there after a huge trying to push down, there's gonna end up being FOMO in there. So best thing to do here would be to buy, and I just missed it because I was fast forwarding too fast. But yeah, I got vaccinated today, so that's why I couldn't trade. My arm hurts and I'm sore. I wasn't planning on doing it. I did plan on it, but I didn't think I would actually be able to do it. But here I am. All right. Pretty good trade. That would have been the second trade. So all we had there was this level of like, as you can see, it's pretty clear. It's that little rising congestion thing. Man, I haven't done this in forever. Small trend. Okay. Which is this like rising thing. As you can see, it's probably a little bit more clear on the minute chart over here. And once you have that, it tends to overall trend becomes down because people are trying to pick tops. So that only occurs if people are trying to pick tops. And so if it looks like people are trying to pick tops, and in this case it's that range day. So here's the thing: if you see this pattern, you can't just buy. There has to be people trying to pick that top, and often we misread those. And but in this case, it's a range day, so people are definitely picking that top. You've been on this uptrend all day, so the buy there is the best thing to do. What happened with Stella? Okay, so you had this high here, and this bar comes back and tests it, and you have this clear like double test that happened right here. If you take a look at the minute chart, it's something I noticed, and it's the fact that this guy couldn't push all the way back up, and you do have this like little range coming to the side here, just working its way to the side, and so that you have to treat that as a level of resistance. And the reason you do that is because this is a strong range day. It doesn't look like it, but the reason it's a strong range day is because people are still trying to pick the tops of this and trying to push the market down back to the other side. And yeah, so you have that level of resistance here. And so yeah, and also you can break after it broke out of this level of resistance right here, as after this level of resistance, we say overall trend is down, overall resistance should be down, and overall trend should be down. But once you break past that, then you get that FOMO. So you have that swing high first entry, second entry, and that turns into FOMO because we just break out of this level of resistance. So remember that this is a level of resistance. Even though it's like trending up, we treat that as a level of resistance, especially on trending days or even on range days. Yep. So actually, I think since people are trying to pick tops here, this might turn into a trending day. Well, let's see. So you treat it as a range day. Overall trend would be down. Level of resistance right there. And also it's still that FOMO, so you can still go for the buy there. But you would yeah, you could enter there on a buy if you're doing FOMO on a one ticker. Yeah. All right, it's just your first opportunity to enter that. We haven't done that in a while, but it was just a couple bars, like 3 or 4. Not too big of a move. If it looked more like, I guess, something like this, then we would hesitate to do a one ticker. But since it's just like 4 bars after a good push up, you could enter that on a one ticker. I think a non-obvious would have also, no, you wouldn't have got it on non-obvious. But yeah, so risky, but we got it. This was our signal bar. Okay, so this one was just FOMO outside of it, so that's why you buy here. Over here it's just a spike, and then you have that level of resistance here. That doesn't really play out because you were pushed higher. Then this has this level of resistance that hasn't really been tested. Maybe a little bit here, but that pushed straight on through. Then you couldn't really come back and test it. Yeah. So there's not an actual level of resistance here. We said it was unvalid. I don't know why I treat it as valid again, but it's unvalid. So you push up through there. So overall trend is up. You just go for a 1 ticker sell. Important note here: if we actually get this one works out. Nice. Nice. So good note here. So as you can see, we did break below these lows over here. However, you break below it a couple times. It looks like it's trying to push down, and it finally pushes down below there already. And then once you get that spike, this doesn't become FOMO because people who had their stops here already got stopped out because of that bar. So there's no FOMO, and that's the reason you go for the buy there. So good trade. Switching tick charts because there's a lot more. But actually, not yet. Maybe not yet. Yeah, we did switch tick charts. Good trade. Good trade. So you have these lows here. However, as you can see, it keeps pushing down lower and lower. It's just we have to treat this like a range trending day, so that doesn't become confirmed anymore once it starts to break lower like that. So that's unconfirmed. So overall trend is down, and you go for the buy here. Swing low first entry, second entry, and non-obvious buy. Just gets in by the tick and more than enough for the scalp. So good trade, good trade. Yeah, good trade. Oh, I was not recording, but yeah, we got the trade. So we had a swing high, first entry, second entry. This big old red bar is our signal bar. So we entered the trade way over here, and we just got the scalp. So we have a good, strong level of resistance here. However, if you take a look at the shape of it, so that already confirms that that's no longer valid since this is a trending day. And then once it starts to push up like that, you can't get tests like these and make it confirm that this is a good level of support. Even though it's a strong level of support, we don't treat that as an overall uptrend. So this is still an overall downtrend that kind of breaks the barrier and kind of like you can imagine it spilling through. And so because there's no strong level of resistance, even though there is, so overall trend is down, so you go for a buy. I think we're going to be switching to this guy on a triple top here. So we got his first entry here. Kind of weird triple top there too, so I guess we could take a trade here. So we do have this like low level of lows here. And so if once we break past that, it behaves a little bit different because there are stops here. So we don't use it as these lows as an overall uptrend, but we use it to say there's stops here. And once you get the push below some of these guys, there's a ton of stops here and a ton of people get stopped out. So that's going to create a lot of FOMO, especially once it starts to push down here. People are going to want to hop on the bandwagon. So that's why you want to go ahead and go sell there. Interesting. Okay, so non-obvious buy there at their signal bar. Signal bar. That's why we got our stops 11 points out. Ticks out. 11 points out? I don't even know. 5 points out. It's $5 out. $11 out. Okay, so double bottom here, first entry, second entry. Overall trend is actually down, believe it or not. The reason being is because actually you could potentially also go for a sell there. You can argue that the overall trend is up because that's the biggest move and it has enough support there to prove that the overall trend is up. But I honestly like the fact that it's an overall downtrend. We have this level of low, but then we pushed through it again, and we couldn't even test it. So that level of low means that overall trend is down. Yeah, let's see how that plays out. And we get that one. If this keeps going up, then yep, I think that was a good trade. Pretty good trade, I think. What a trend up. Alright, let's see. Broke a level above this level of resistance. There's gotta be FOMO in this. There has to be FOMO in this. Excuse me. So the FOMO kind of disappears once the market starts to push up. So we had that huge spike, but then a huge spike down as well. So people aren't trying to chase that because now we have that correction, which is extremely popular, which is people pick the tops of those spikes and sell them. And so there's no more FOMO in that direction. So it's just an overall trend up. And so you just go for the sell right there. And then you can also treat this portion on an overall trend down and go for a buy here on a double top. Okay. So all that was an overall downtrend. Just the biggest moves in this direction, hitting those highs, and then just turning the market down in this direction. Overall trend is now down. It would be hard to argue that the overall trend is up. Maybe if it was at this point, overall trend is up, and then since our trade is here, it's gonna be the overall trend down, and the buy there is the best option. Interesting. Okay, here's the best explanation I have for this one. It's a tough one, but it's something we have to learn. So here you have a level of resistance that's it's okay. Got tested once here, not really on the minute chart, and tested once here, tested once here. It's nothing great, nothing to even pay attention to or even consider. However, so that's what we do here, right? Nothing to consider right here. However, once we get into this point right here, now you got this strong push up, push down, and a stronger push up, and even stronger push up here. And so with this, something we know is that people, if you have a spike with the overall trend, and in this case it's going long or the upward position, you can see we've been on a strong trending day working up here. So this is gonna have a lot more. If it's a spike with the overall trend, it's not necessarily a FOMO. It is FOMO, but we don't treat it like a spike. We treat it as an overall uptrend. And so in that case, we're gonna treat it as an overall uptrend, and so we go sell because it's an overall uptrend and it has that enough support there to prove that that could be spike and FOMO. I just wish that move was a little bit bigger for us to be able to tell that. And so that's the biggest thing you gotta take away from this, which is the sell right here. And you can take that sell, and the market pushes down. So it's hard to argue that the overall trend is down here and to go for a buy because there's nothing really indicating that. You got strong pushes here, and even after this push, something you have to take into account is that you've been on the strong uptrend and people are waiting for that spike and people are trying to hop on the bandwagon, trying to go long. So once they see that, that's their confirmation. Everybody's gonna go long. That's where you're gonna go for the sell, and swing low first entry, second entry, going for the sell there because it's an overall uptrend and it's not necessarily a spike with FOMO, but since it has FOMO, we treat it as a overall uptrend. Yep. Probably gonna get snapped up. Alrighty. So overall trend is just down there. You didn't have really a level of resistance to break through because you break through it a couple times. Break through it there, then you come there, then you get the spike. Ouch. And that's why you go for the buy because it's just an overall downtrend. Let's see if we could keep going. Okay, let's see. Oh boy. Man, trading is hard. I guess there's FOMO. I just can't figure out why. All right. I don't think we're ready to day trade live. This is too hard. I don't wanna. Why is there FOMO? Why is there FOMO? Why is there FOMO? Could this be a size of a scalp? Yeah, it's a size of a scalp thing. So you can see we got stopped out by a couple ticks. I feel like we should add on a couple points because every time like bought, sold, bought. Okay, that's okay. So bought, sold. That's more than enough for the scalp. More than enough for the scalp. Ooh, not more than enough for a scalp. So this one would have been a loser actually. Way more than enough. More than enough. But way more than enough. But more than enough. Yeah. Think so. Depends. If we just add 2 points or 1 point. If we added 2 points. So our stop to be bigger, scouts would be bigger as well. I don't know. But let's take a position here. Nice. At first I wasn't going to do a non-obvious. I was going to do 1 ticker. But good thing we did non-obvious and stuck with the rules. Yeah. Sticking to what the rules works. That's going to be it for me. Ton of losers. But some silly trades. I don't know. That was unfortunate right there. Maybe we got to increase our scalp size by 2 points, I think. Because then our scalp would be down here. We'll see. I might calculate it later. Test it tomorrow or something. Could potentially help us, but it doesn't really make a difference, especially since a lot of our trades look like this. So we got Alright, that's going to be it for me. Peace out.